Hey kiddos, are you ready for story time?
Yeah.
What story are we going to be reading today?
Coraline by Neil Gaiman.
All right, let's get started. Coraline. Here's our picture. What do you guys think of this picture? We got a cat and a girl. Are we ready?
And an eggs
on
a brick.
It's pretty ominous.
Yeah.
Here
I
we
wonder
go.
what the X is for.
I don't know.
Well, let's figure it out.
Let's figure it out.
And the other day we're going to read chapter 2.
Yes. I started this for Holly. I finished it for Maddie. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Oh, what do you guys think about that picture?
Looks like a giant rat with a girl in it.
Oh.
It looks like a girl that is swooping in a girl.
Okay. Coraline discovered the door a little while after they moved into the house. It was a very old house. It had an attic under the roof and a cellar under the ground and an overgrown garden with huge old trees in it. Coraline's family didn't own all of the house. It was too big for that. Instead, they owned part of it. There were other people who lived in the house. Miss Spink and Miss Forcible lived in the flat below Coraline's on the ground floor. They were both old and round, and they lived in their flat with a number of aging Highland terriers, and had names like Hamish and Andrew and Jock. Once upon a time, Miss Spink and Miss Forcible had been actresses. As Miss Spink told Coraline the first time she met her, "You see, Coraline," Miss Spink said, getting Coraline's name wrong by saying Caroline. "Both myself and Miss Forcible were famous actresses in our time, and we trod the broads lovely. Oh, don't let Hamish eat that fruitcake, or he'll be up all night with his tummy. It's Coraline, not Caroline. Coraline," said Coraline. In the flat above Coraline's, under the roof, was a crazy old man with a big mustache. He told Coraline that he was training a mouse circus. He wouldn't let anyone see it. "One day, little Coraline, when they are all ready, everyone in the world will see the wonders of my mouse circus. You ask me why you cannot see it now? Is that what you asked me?" "No," said Coraline quietly. "I asked you not to call me Caroline. It's Coraline." "The reason you cannot see the mouse circus," said the man upstairs, "is that the mice are not yet ready and rehearsed. Also, they refuse to play the songs I have written for them. All the songs I have written for the mice to play go oompa, oompa. But the white mice will only play too-do, too-do, like that. I am thinking of trying them on different types of cheese." Coraline didn't think that there really was a mouse circus. She thought the old man was probably making it up. The day after they moved in, Coraline went exploring. She explored the garden. It was a big garden. At the very back was an old tennis court, but no one in the house played tennis, and the fence around the court had holes in it, and the net had mostly rotted away. There was an old rose garden filled with stunted fly-blown rose bushes. There were rockery that was all rocks. There was a fairy ring made of squeegee brown toadstools, which smelled dreadful if you accidentally trod on them. There was a well, On the first day of Coraline's family move-in, Miss Spink and Miss Forcible made the point of telling Coraline how dangerous the well was, and they warned her to be sure that she kept away from it. So Coraline set off to explore for it, so that she knew where it was, to keep away from it properly. She found it on the third day, in an overgrown meadow besides the tennis court, behind a clump of trees, a low brick circle, almost hidden in the high grass. The well had been covered up by wooden boards to stop anyone from falling in. There was a small knothole on one of the boards, and Coraline spent an afternoon dropping pebbles and acorns through the hole and waiting and counting until she heard the bloop as it hit the water far below. Coraline also explored for animals. She found a hedgehog and a snakeskin, but no snake, and a rock that looked just like a frog, and a toad that looked just like a rock. There was also a haughty black cat who sat on walls and tree stumps and watched her, but slipped as if ever away when she went over to try to play with it. That was how she spent her first 2 weeks in the house, exploring the garden and the grounds. Her mother made her come back inside for dinner and for lunch, and Coraline had to make sure that she dressed up warm before she went out, for it was very cold summer that year. But to go out she did, exploring every day until the day it rained, when Coraline had to stay inside. And that is where we are stopping for tonight, because the babies are getting sleepy. Please tune in tomorrow for the rest of Chapter 1. Bye.